Hey everyone! Today we're diving into something really interesting. What does a programmer actually do all day? I mean, besides drinking coffee and staring at screens, right?
Huh. Well, there's definitely a lot of coffee involved. But seriously, most people have no idea what goes on behind the scenes when they use their favorite apps.
So let's start at the beginning. What time does a typical programmer's day kick off?
It varies, but many developers start around 9 or 10 a.m. The first thing? Checking emails and messages to see if anything broke overnight.
Oh no, things break overnight? That sounds stressful.
Sometimes, yeah. But that's part of the job. Then comes the daily stand-up meeting, a quick 15-minute check-in with the team.
Wait, why do they call it a stand-up? Do people actually stand?
Exactly. Standing keeps it short and focused. Everyone shares what they worked on yesterday and what they're tackling today.
Smart. So after the meeting, they finally get to write code?
Not quite yet. First, they need to figure out what to build. This means reading requirements, looking at designs, and planning their approach.
So it's not just typing away randomly? There's actual planning involved?
Absolutely. Good programmers spend a lot of time thinking before coding. It's like building a house, you need blueprints first.
That makes sense. Okay, so now they're finally writing code. What's that actually like?
It's intense focus work. They're solving puzzles, really breaking down big problems into smaller pieces. And there's a lot of Googling involved.
Wait, professional programmers Google stuff? I thought they knew everything.
That's a huge misconception. Even experienced developers look things up constantly. Technology changes so fast, nobody can remember everything.
That's actually reassuring. So what happens after they write the code?
Testing. They run the code to see if it works. And here's where things get interesting, it rarely works perfectly the first time.
So then comes the debugging phase? I've heard that's the worst part.
Debugging can be frustrating, but it's also like detective work. You're hunting for clues, trying to figure out why something isn't working as expected.
How long does debugging usually take?
It depends. Sometimes you fix a bug in 5 minutes. Other times, you're stuck on one problem for hours or even days.
Days? That sounds exhausting.
It can be, but there's this amazing feeling when you finally solve it. Programmers call it the aha moment, it's incredibly satisfying.
I bet. So once the code works, is that it? Job done?
Not quite. Next comes code review, other team members check your work. They look for mistakes, suggest improvements, and make sure it follows best practices.
That sounds nerve-wracking. Having people critique your work?
It can feel that way at first, but it's actually really valuable. Everyone makes mistakes, and fresh eyes catch things you might have missed.
What else fills up a programmer's day?
Meetings, unfortunately. Planning sessions, design discussions, one-on-ones with managers. Some days have more meetings than coding.
That must be frustrating when you just want to focus on coding.
It is, but communication is crucial. You need to coordinate with designers, product managers, and other developers to build something great.
So it's really a team sport, not just sitting alone in a dark room?
Exactly. That's another big misconception. Modern programming is highly collaborative. You're constantly talking to people and working together.
What about the end of the day? Do programmers just shut down their computers and leave?
Ideally, yes. But sometimes there's a deadline crunch or an urgent bug that needs fixing. Work-life balance can be challenging in tech.
So what makes people stick with this career despite the challenges?
The creativity and problem solving. You're building things that millions of people might use. Plus, you're always learning something new, it never gets boring.
That does sound pretty cool. Any final thoughts for people considering this career?
It's challenging but rewarding. If you enjoy solving puzzles and don't mind continuous learning, programming could be perfect for you. Just remember, everyone starts as a beginner.
Great advice. Thanks for walking us through a day in the life of a programmer. It's way more interesting than I expected.
My pleasure. And remember, behind every app you use, there's a team of developers working hard to make your digital life easier.
Dive into. Kick off. Tackle. Misconception. Debugging. Nerve-wracking. Critique. Coordinate. Collaborative. Crunch. Stick with. Rewarding.
Thank you!
See you next time!